There's a particular kind of tired that arrives at the end of the day, when even the kettle feels heavy, and the thought of standing at the cooker is simply too much bother. If you live on your own, cooking for one can seem more trouble than it's worth, and far too easy to skip altogether. But here is the secret British kitchens have always known. The best suppers are often the simplest ones. We're counting down 25 cheap, 5-minute suppers, the sort that cost pennies, dirty just the one pan, and fill you up proper. Everyone is ready before the news has finished. Number 14 is the one most folks have completely forgotten. Hit subscribe so you don't lose this list, and let's begin the countdown with number 25. Number 25. Sardines on toast. There is nothing humbler and nothing kinder to a tired body at the end of a long day. A tin of sardines in tomato sauce costs about 50 pence, and it has sat patiently in the cupboard, waiting for exactly this evening. You pop 2 slices of bread under the grill, butter them while they are still warm, then tip the sardines over the top, sauce and all. A crack of black pepper, perhaps a squeeze of lemon if there is one in the bowl. 5 minutes, start to finish, and you have a supper packed with the sort of goodness that keeps old bones strong. Oily fish for the heart and the eyes, they always told us. And they were right. No washing up to speak of, just the fork and the plate. Comfort, warmth, and 40 winks in the chair after, all for the price of a stamp. Number 24. Tinned soup with a buttered roll. When you haven't the energy for anything at all, a tin of Heinz tomato or a good chunky vegetable will see you right. Pour it into the pan, warm it through while you butter a crusty roll, and that's the whole performance. A tin costs under £1, and the cheaper supermarket versions are barely 40 pence and just as warming. There's something about soup that asks nothing of you. No chewing if you're weary, no chopping, no standing over it. Tear the roll, dunk it, let the steam rise into your face on a cold evening. Many a senior living alone keeps a row of tins at the front of the cupboard for precisely these nights when the day has taken more than it gave back. It's not fancy. It was never meant to be. It's simply enough, and on the right evening, enough is everything. Number 23. Crumpets with butter and a smear of Marmite. Don't let anyone tell you crumpets are only for breakfast. A pack of 6 costs around 50 pence, and they keep in the bread bin or freezer for weeks. Drop 2 into the toaster, and while they brown, you can sit down for a moment. The trick every British grandmother knew was to butter them the instant they pop, so the butter sinks down into all those little holes and pools at the bottom. A scrape of Marmite for those who love it, a drizzle of honey for those who do not. The smell alone is enough to lift a flagging spirit. For someone eating alone, there's real comfort in the soft give of a hot buttered crumpet, the steam, the quiet. It's a supper that feels like being looked after, even when there's nobody there to do the looking. Number 22. Mushrooms on toast. A small punnet of mushrooms costs around 70 pence and turns into something genuinely lovely with almost no effort. Slice them rough, no need to be tidy about it. Fry them in a knob of butter for 3 or 4 minutes until they go soft and dark and release that earthy, savory smell that fills the whole kitchen. Add a splash of milk or a spoon of cream if you've got it, salt and plenty of pepper, then pile the lot onto hot buttered toast. The juices soak into the bread, and that is the best bit, the soggy corner. It tastes far grander than it has any right to. Mushrooms have been a poor man's supper for generations because they make so little go so far, and they ask only for butter and a few minutes of your patience. On a quiet evening, that is a fair bargain indeed. Number 21. Boiled egg and soldiers. We tend to think of it as nursery food, something for grandchildren, but a soft boiled egg is one of the most perfect small suppers there is. Eggs are about £2 for half a dozen, so this costs barely 35 pence. Lower the egg into gently simmering water for exactly 6 minutes for a runny yolk, while you toast a slice of bread and cut it into neat fingers. Sit the egg in a cup, take the top off with a sharp tap of the spoon. And there it is, golden and warm. Dip the soldiers in one at a time. There is no quicker comfort in all of British cooking, and no supper that asks less of tired hands. For anyone who finds a full meal too much in the evening, this is gentle, nourishing, and ready in the time it takes the toast to brown. Number 20. Porridge for supper. Who said oats were only for the morning? A bowl of porridge at the end of the day is one of the cheapest, kindest suppers going, working out at perhaps 10 pence per serving from a bag of oats that costs under £1. 2 minutes in the microwave with milk or water, stir halfway through, and you have a warm bowl that settles the stomach and helps you sleep. A spoon of jam, a handful of sultanas, a sprinkle of brown sugar, or a sliced banana if you are feeling flush. Oats keep you full through the night, which matters when you do not fancy waking hungry at 3 in the morning. There is a reason it carried Scotland through every hard winter ever recorded. On the nights when nothing else appeals, a warm bowl of porridge in your hands is sometimes exactly the right thing. Number 19. Tinned mackerel on cream crackers. Here's one for the evenings when you can't even be bothered to switch the grill on. A tin of mackerel fillets, perhaps in mustard or a peppered sauce, costs around 80 pence and needs no cooking at all. Open it, flake it onto a few cream crackers or oatcakes, and that is your supper made in under 2 minutes. The mustard sort has a lovely warmth to it, the peppered a bit of bite. Add a few slices of tomato or cucumber if you want it to feel like a proper plate. It is oily fish again, full of the good fats that doctors keep urging us to eat more of, and cheaper than almost anything fresh. For a senior on a tight pension, a few tins of mackerel in the cupboard are like money in the bank. Cold, quick, and quietly good for you. Number 18. A quick Ploughman's cheese and pickle. First pattern break, and here's where laziness becomes a virtue. The Ploughman's lunch was invented to be assembled, not cooked, and that makes it the perfect supper when standing at the stove is the last thing you want. A wedge of cheddar, a spoon of Branston pickle, a few crackers or a hunk of bread and butter, and a tomato or a pickled onion alongside. That's it. No heat, no pan, no fuss. A block of cheese costs a couple of pounds and lasts a fortnight of these little suppers, so each plate works out at well under £1. Pubs charged a fortune for this once they realized people would pay for nostalgia. But at home, on a tray, on your lap, with the telly on, it's just a good, honest plate of food that took 90 seconds to put together. Sometimes the best cooking is no cooking at all. Number 17. Microwave jacket potato with cheese and beans. The oven-baked potato takes an hour you may not have, but the microwave does the same job in 5 minutes and saves a fortune in electricity besides. Prick a potato all over with a fork, microwave it for around 5 minutes, turning once and it comes out fluffy inside. A potato costs maybe 25 pence. Split it open, drop in a knob of butter, top with grated cheese and a few spoons of warmed beans, and you've a proper filling supper for well under £1. The cheese melts into the soft middle, the beans add warmth, and it sits in the stomach like a meal should. For anyone who finds bread sits heavy in the evening, a jacket potato is gentler and just as comforting. One plate, one fork, and the satisfying feeling of having actually fed yourself well. Number 16. A quick cheese omelette. 2 eggs, a bit of cheese, and 3 minutes is all that stands between you and a hot supper. Beat the eggs with a fork, a pinch of salt, pour into a hot buttered pan, and as they set you scatter grated cheese over one half. Fold it over, slide it onto the plate, and there's your supper, golden and steaming. The whole thing costs under 50 pence and uses just the one pan. An omelette is endlessly forgiving too. A few mushrooms left over from earlier, a slice of ham torn up, a chopped tomato, whatever is hanging about in the fridge and needs using. For someone cooking for one, an omelette is the great rescuer of odds and ends, turning what might have been thrown away into something warm and worth sitting down for. Quick, cheap, and never disappointing. Number 15. Tinned spaghetti on toast. There is no shame in it, none at all. A tin of spaghetti hoops or spaghetti in tomato sauce costs around 40 pence, and on a weary evening it is exactly the soft, warm, undemanding thing the body wants. Warm it in the pan or the microwave, butter a slice of toast, and tip it over the top so the sauce soaks into the bread at the edges. It is the supper many of us grew up on, and it tastes of simpler times. Easy to eat when teeth are not what they were, gentle on the stomach, and ready in the time it takes to find your glasses. People turn their noses up at tinned pasta as if it were beneath them, but on the right night, in the right mood, it is precisely the small kindness a tired body is asking for. Comfort in a tin, and proud of it. Number 14. Welsh rarebit, the forgotten one. This is the entry most people have let slip from memory, and that's a real shame, because it's only cheese on toast that went to finishing school. You melt a good handful of grated cheddar gently in a pan with a splash of milk, a teaspoon of mustard, and a dash of Worcestershire sauce until it goes thick and glossy. Spread that over a slice of toast, pop it under the grill for a minute until it bubbles and turns golden, and you have something that tastes like it came from a proper cafe. It costs perhaps 60 pence and takes 5 minutes. The mustard and the Worcestershire give it a savoury depth that plain cheese on toast never quite reaches. Our grandparents made this when they wanted to feel they'd had a treat without spending a treat's worth of money. Bring it back. Your taste buds will thank you for it. Number 13. Tuna mayo on toast. A store cupboard hero if ever there was one. A tin of tuna costs around 70 pence, and mixed with a spoon of mayonnaise and a grind of pepper, it becomes a supper in under 2 minutes. Pile it onto hot toast, onto crackers, or into a soft roll, whatever you fancy. A little sweet corn folded through makes it nicer still, and a few slices of cucumber alongside lift the whole plate. There is protein enough to keep you going. It needs no cooking beyond the toast, and a single tin is plenty for one. For seniors who do not want to be opening a fresh packet of meat or fish that will only go off before they finish it, the humble tin is the answer. Long-lasting, cheap, and ready whenever you are. Keep a few at the back of the cupboard, and you will never be stuck for supper again. Number 12. The fish finger sandwich. Don't be too proud for this one, because it might just be the most quietly perfect supper on the whole list. 3 or 4 fish fingers under the grill for 10 minutes, though you can sit down for most of that, then laid between 2 slices of soft buttered bread with a smear of ketchup or tartar sauce. A box of fish fingers costs a couple of pounds and gives you 4 or 5 suppers from it, so each sandwich is well under £1. The contrast of the crisp golden coating against the soft bread is the whole joy of it. It's food that makes you smile food that tastes of being young, and for someone eating alone of an evening, a little spark of that is worth more than any fancy meal. Cheap, warming, and unapologetically simple. Some of the best things are. Number 11. Poached egg on toast. There is a knack to it, but once you have it, it is the work of 3 minutes. Bring a small pan of water to a gentle simmer. Crack the egg into a cup, swirl the water, and slip the egg in. 3 minutes and it is done. Lift it out with a slotted spoon onto a slice of hot buttered toast. The yolk breaks and runs golden over the bread, and there is hardly a more satisfying sight at the end of a tiring day. An egg and a slice of bread comes to about 35 pence. It feels like a proper bit of cooking without being any real trouble at all, and it sits light on the stomach for an evening meal. Add a few wilted spinach leaves or a grilled tomato if you want to feel virtuous. But honestly, the egg, the toast, and a cup of tea is supper enough. Number 10. Bubble and squeak. Second pattern break, and this one's all about waste, or rather, the joy of refusing to waste. If you've any cold potato and a bit of cabbage or greens left from a previous meal, you've the makings of a supper that costs you nothing at all. Mash them roughly together, press into a hot buttered pan, and fry until the bottom turns crisp and golden brown. The name comes from the sound it makes, the sizzle and pop as it cooks. Flip it, brown the other side, and slide it onto the plate. Our grandmothers made this every Monday from Sunday's leftovers, and they would be horrified at how much good food gets thrown out today. For a senior watching the pennies, bubble and squeak is the supper that appears as if by magic from things you'd already paid for. Free food, crisp and hot, and a small triumph of thrift on a plate. Number 9. A proper bacon butty. 2 or 3 rashers of bacon under the grill or in a dry pan, the smell drifting through the house and reaching every corner, then tucked between 2 slices of soft white bread with butter and a good squirt of brown sauce or ketchup. The whole thing takes 5 minutes and costs perhaps 80 pence. There is no supper in all of Britain more universally loved, and none more cheering on a grey evening. The bacon doesn't need to be fancy. The cheap, streaky sort crisps up beautifully and goes further besides. For someone living alone, a bacon butty is permission to have something purely for the pleasure of it. No fuss, no balance, just the salt and the crunch and the soft bread. We spend our whole lives being told what we shouldn't eat. Once in a while, a bacon butty for supper is good for the soul. Number 8. Egg and chips. The oven chips have changed this supper for the better, taking away the bother and the danger of a pan of hot fat. A handful of oven chips, 15 minutes in the oven, or far quicker in an air fryer if you have one, and while they cook, you fry an egg or 2 in a little oil. Tip the chips onto the plate, slide the egg on top, let the runny yolk pool over the chips, and there is a supper that has fed working Britain for 100 years. A bag of chips and a couple of eggs comes to under £1. It is hot, it is filling, and it tastes of every cafe and seaside trip you ever took. For an evening when you want something that feels like a real dinner without any of the labor, egg and chips never lets you down. Salt, vinegar, and contentment. Number 7. Smoked mackerel pate on toast. This one feels posh, but costs next to nothing. A pack of smoked mackerel fillets is around £1.50, and you only need 1 fillet per person. Peel off the skin, flake the fish into a bowl, and mash it with a spoonful of cream cheese, a squeeze of lemon, and a grind of pepper. No cooking at all, just a fork and a couple of minutes. Spread it thick on hot toast or oat cakes. and you have something that would not look out of place at a fancy lunch. The smoky richness of the fish goes a very long way, so one pack stretches across several suppers. For seniors, it's that rare thing, a supper that's good for the heart, kind to the budget, and feels like a genuine treat all at once. Keep the rest in the fridge for tomorrow. It only gets better as the flavors settle. Number 6. Scrambled eggs on toast. Soft, golden, and ready in 4 minutes. Beat 2 or 3 eggs with a splash of milk and a pinch of salt. Pour into a buttered pan over a low heat and stir slowly, taking it off just before you think it is done, because it carries on cooking on the plate. Spoon it over hot buttered toast, and there it is, one of the gentlest, most comforting suppers ever made. It costs around 50 pence and uses only the 1 pan and a fork. Scrambled eggs are forgiving of tired hands and tired minds, and they slip down easily on an evening when you have little appetite, but know you ought to eat something. A sprinkle of cheese or a few snipped chives lifts it if you fancy. But plain and soft on good toast, with the radio on low, it is supper enough for anyone. Number 5. Bangers and quick mash. Third pattern break. And here is a proper hot dinner that fits inside 5 minutes if you are clever about it. Grill 4 sausages, and while they sizzle and brown, make instant mash, which costs pennies and is far better than its reputation suggests, or warm some leftover mash in the microwave. A few sausages cost around £1 and give you 2 suppers. Pile the mash, lay the bangers on top, and a spoon of mushy peas or a bit of gravy from a granule finishes it off a treat. The smell of sausages under the grill is one of the great comforts of a British kitchen, and on a cold evening, it turns a quiet house into a warm one. This is the supper that feels like somebody cooked for you, even when that somebody is you. Hearty, hot, and on the table before the kettle has even cooled. Number 4. Ham, egg, and chips. The cafe classic, and proof that a memorable supper need not be complicated. Oven chips or air fryer chips, an egg fried in a little oil, and a couple of slices of cooked ham from a packet laid on the side. A packet of ham costs around £1 and lasts for several suppers, so the whole plate comes in well under that. It is the Trinity that ruled the Transport Cafe and the seaside boarding house for generations, and it earned its place by being cheap, hot, and exactly what a tired body wants. Break the yolk over the chips, cut a bit of ham with each forkful, and you have a supper that satisfies completely. For seniors who remember these plates from working days gone by, there is a comfort in them that goes well beyond the food itself. Familiar, filling, and ready in the time it takes the chips to crisp. Number 3. Eggy bread. Long before anyone called it French toast, our grandmothers called it eggy bread, and they made it to use up the slices that had gone a touch stale. Beat an egg in a shallow dish, dip a slice of bread, coating both sides until it is well soaked, and fry it in a little butter until golden on each side. 2 minutes on each side, and supper is done for around 30 pence. You can have it savory with a shake of salt and pepper and a grilled tomato, or sweet with a sprinkle of sugar and cinnamon. Either way, it turns tired bread into something hot and tender and lovely. It is the very spirit of the British kitchen, taking what would have been thrown away and making a meal of it. For anyone watching every penny, eggy bread is a small daily reminder that good food and thrift have always gone hand in hand. Number 2. Cheese on toast. The supper that has rescued more tired evenings than any other in this country. Grate or slice a good bit of cheddar over a piece of bread, pop it under the grill for a couple of minutes until it bubbles and turns golden brown at the edges. and that is the whole affair. It costs perhaps 40 pence and asks almost nothing of you beyond switching the grill on. A dash of Worcestershire sauce or a smear of pickle underneath the cheese lifts it, but it needs nothing to be perfect. There is a reason it is the thing we reach for when we cannot think what else to have. It is quick, it is warming, it is endlessly comforting, and it never once disappoints. For a senior alone in the evening, cheese on toast and a cup of tea is the very picture of contentment. Simple, hot, and always there when you need it. Number 1. Beans on toast. And finally, in first place. Of course it is. No other supper in Britain has fed more people on more tired evenings for less money than beans on toast. A tin of Heinz baked beans costs around 50 pence, the supermarket's own barely 25 pence, and a slice of toast just a few pennies more. Warm the beans in the pan or the microwave, butter the toast generously while they heat, then tip the beans over the top so they run down into every corner. A grating of cheese over the lot if you want to push the boat out. 2 minutes, 1 pan, and a supper that has comforted this nation through rationing, through hard winters, through every quiet evening alone since the tin was first invented. It is warm, it is filling, it is gentle on the stomach and gentle on the purse, and it tastes of home like nothing else. For anyone living on their own and too weary to cook, beans on toast is the supper that's always waiting, always easy, and always enough. The humblest plate in Britain, and the best loved by far. So there you have it. 25 cheap British 5-minute suppers for the evenings when standing at the cooker is simply too much. Not one of them costs much, dirties more than a pan, or takes longer than the kettle. Tell me in the comments which one you're having tonight, and which one your own mum or nan used to make. If this list was a help to you, give it a like and subscribe, so you always have something quick and warming to fall back on. Eating well alone needn't be hard work. Sometimes a tin, a slice of toast, and a few minutes is all it takes. Take care of yourself and enjoy your supper.